Wait, what about weird?
Hi, I'm Echo.
And my mouth is full of coffee. Hi, I'm Elena.
And this is What About Weird, and I did not pull up the thing. Here, I'm not going to pull it up. I'm going to do it from memory.
Do it.
And this is What About Weird, a podcast dissecting all things weird from cryptids and aliens to strange science and unhinged history.
You got it right.
I'm pretty sure I did that shit. We've only been doing this podcast for over a fucking year. We've been doing this podcast for like a year and a half. We should know our intro by now.
You would think, but unfortunately for us, we're dumb.
I don't know what's wrong with us.
We're incredibly smart for dumb people.
Yeah. I think it's more so incredibly dumb for smart people, because we're definitely smart, but we just act real stupid sometimes. Sometimes our brains just don't work.
I like to say I have a severe case of dumb bitch disease. So
it's chronic.
Yeah, it's chronic. Like, I can explain to you all kinds of sciencey things, but I also, up until recently, thought that everything east of Ohio and north of the Mason-Dixon was New England, and I have been corrected on that. Don't come for me.
Okay.
Also, I just want to say, if anyone hears like little grumbling in the background, my dogs are in the studio with me. Normally, they are outside of the studio, but there is nobody else home, and they cry when they are alone, and they know that I'm in the house. So it was either having them cry outside the door or having them grumble in the studio. So,
well, it's not going to be as bad as when we first started, and the dogs were always in the room and
like
Rosie
chewing on toys and shit.
Chewing on toys, and you could hear in the background, it's just like.
That was so funny when I went and listened to the Vercolocaust episode when I did the Will Know Vampires episode. And I was like, what in the world is that sound? Just that. I'm sorry for the ASMR people. But I was like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, that's the episode where Rosie was just destroying a toy in the background.
Oh my God. And like the entire time we were recording that episode, I was like, I love her so much. I want her to chew on her toy, but I want to take it away so bad because it's so fucking loud.
I know. And it's not like we could have like put her outside or anything, because that's when I was in an apartment, and it would have been putting her on the deck in the summer.
Also, you take that one away from her, she's got an entire fucking like chest of toys. She's just gonna go get another one to fucking destroy. Or she's gonna annoy the hell out of you and be like, give me my fucking toy back. So there was no good option. It was like, we just need to keep the dog happy.
She will do that thing where she'll just like huff and stare at you.
But yeah, so nothing that's happening around you right now could be as disruptive as when they were chewing on toys like early episodes.
Don't challenge her. She will find something to chew on. There are no toys in this room, but she will find something to chew on.
Yeah, it's like, thankfully, my dog is like far enough away that you probably can't hear him, but his snoring is so fucking loud, dude. I just gotta hope he doesn't bark at me, because oh my God, like ever since he started feeling better, because he had like that period of time where he just wasn't doing super well, ever since he started feeling better, he has become like 1000% more sassy, where if I'm not paying attention to him all the time, he's just fucking screaming at me all of the time. I'm like, stop yelling at me, I don't know what you want.
He was already the sassiest dog in the universe.
Oh my God, he's a fucking diva.
If Barney starts snoring, he's so cute. He does snore very loud. But he does that, he has like he's a little beagle, so he's got the jowls. And when he snores at the right angle, it goes plop, 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 plop. He goes plop, 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 plop. It's very cute, but it will come off through on the mic. Anyway, enough shit talking my dog. I'm not shit talking them. They're very good babies.
They're very good.
The sweetest babies.
We love them.
Also, just a reminder, send us pictures of your pets. We love it. We want it.
Yes.
Please.
I love pet photos. Okay, into what today's episode is about.
No! We're talking about dogs more. No, we aren't.
we posted a poll on Instagram about what people wanted us to do kind of for the 250th anniversary of America. So we did a poll on Instagram, and the most popular option was doing a part 2 for government projects. So that's what we're doing today. Elena has 2 different weird government projects. I have 2 different weird government projects, and we're going to share them with you today. Elena, do you want to go first?
Sure. So my first one is the gay bomb, aka they're putting chemicals in the bombs to make the frickin' soldiers gay. Sorry, I could not make that joke.
Is that possible? Is that... Wait, this is a hot take, but I believe that if everybody in the world was gay, like 100% gay, we would, like, literally almost all the human issues we have right now would be non-existent.
I don't think all of them, but I know what you mean. A lot of the biggest issues would be solved. You still have relationship drama and, like, crazy people keying each other's cars and smashing windows when they get broken up with.
Which is true, but at the same time, when you look at the violence against women, who is it usually?
Fair.
I think women would have to deal with a lot less shit from men and a lot less violence against them if everybody was gay.
Yeah. Being gay isn't a choice. Isn't your choice. It's mine. You're gay now, according to the U.S. government.
Happy Pride Month to everybody.
Yeah, July is just Pride Month too, red, white, and blue. I didn't mean for that to rhyme.
That's really good. I want a t-shirt with that. July is just Pride Month too, but red, white, and blue. That is so good.
So it's always Pride Month. Every month is Pride Month if you're Pride. If you are Pride.
If you are Pride.
I identify as Pride.
Can we make a sticker that says that, please?
I'll try and remember. I'll add that to the list of other stickers I need to make.
It's so good. Okay, so the gay bomb.
Yeah, the gay bomb. Which is also my drag persona. So this weapon, for lack of a better term, was confirmed by Pentagon sources in June, which in Happy Pride Month of 2007.
I'm sorry, it's so funny that they did it during June. Like, I wonder if that was on purpose.
Yeah, I also went down a whole rabbit hole researching, like, gay rights landmark things, and a lot of them were also in June. So I love that. But yeah, the gay bomb was confirmed in June that it happened by the Pentagon.
Amazing.
Due to a FOIA request someone put in. For anyone who doesn't know, a FOIA request is a Freedom of Information request. Mm-hmm. You can put it in, and basically, I've never done them, and I don't fully know how it works, but it's basically being like, hey, tell us what the fuck you're up to, government, and they can be like, okay, fine, but we're gonna redact a bunch of shit. I've read a lot of redacted government documents researching this. I'm so sick of all that. At least they used to know how to redact shit.
It's shitty to me, though, that it's like, there's the Freedom of Information Act. You as a citizen have a right to request information because that is, like, a freedom that you have. And they're like, yeah, but we're gonna, like, get rid of half of the fucking document that we don't want you to see. I'm like, okay,
Okay. In all fairness, a lot of the stuff that I was looking at, it was just, like, names redacted out of it, of, like, where they got the information from.
That's fair. You don't want to dox people.
But I am just, with all of the stuff to do with redactions recently in the government and their inability to understand how to properly redact stuff that leads, which, you know what? Actually, I like that they don't know how to redact stuff because it means that we get more information. But, like, they used to just, like, white out on papers, not highlight them in black. But yeah, anyone can put in a FOIA request. I don't know how it's done. And I know you have to ask for very specific things because, like, for example, if you ask for UFO documents, they're going to just give you ones that have the phrase UFO, not UAP, or flying saucer in them. So you have to word it really specifically.
this also applies to, like, police documents, because a lot of people, when there's, like, missing persons cases, or they have found a body that is unidentified, they're, like, people that are sleuths on the internet that will request the police files, or, like, you know, the documents from the police, so they can, like, be amateur sleuths and try and, like, solve the case and shit.
And
which is wild.
sometimes they do solve the case. And then sometimes
they do.
they're like, it was aliens making out with Bigfoot that ran over the guy in a car.
It's like 80% conspiracy and people being problematic, and 20% the community coming together and doing something good.
Yeah, I was listening to an episode of a different podcast where they were talking about a case of this unknown guy that had died in, like, a tent.
Oh my God, I literally just listened to that episode, like, on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
That one was interesting because they actually did end up helping solve it, and a bunch of people came together to donate money to get, like, DNA tests done. But anyways, FOIA requests. So this came out in 2007, but the project was originally proposed in 1994. The project, which officials have say have now been scrapped, and also all of my information is coming from articles from 2007 when this came out. So it was really hard to find anything that wasn't like, hey guys, remember when this happened? That's newer sources. So I don't know what's going on with it now. But all the articles I found were from, like, 2007.
Okay.
Like 2007 to 2010. But so officials say it's now been scrapped. And the plan was basically to come up with unspecified hormones, which I don't know what that means, but that would be absorbed through the skin or lungs and thereby make soldiers gay. And,
hey, my thing, so what is the point of making the soldiers gay? It's not going to make them any less good at being a soldier. There are plenty of people out there that are gay that are doing their soldier job perfectly fucking well. Like, I don't think that would have an effect on them.
That's why I went down the rabbit hole of researching, like, gay rights stuff, and, like, dates and stuff.
They think magically turning on the soldiers gay, they're going to be, like, suddenly, like, so distracted by the sexiness of each other that they can't do their jobs. That's not how that works.
Maybe the people that came up with this were gay. They're like, I just love the idea of buff soldiers running around, just kissing each other. I just want to live in that world where all these soldiers they're all sweaty in the field and they're rubbing up on each other and kissing each other. It's just a fanfic this guy made.
That's like the only real explanation for me, because, like, as someone attracted to both, I'm attracted to men, I'm attracted to women, it doesn't affect my ability to work around other people at fucking all, because your, like, ability to be sexually attracted to somebody doesn't make you, like, worse at your job. So that's weird. The whole idea behind this is, like, so incredibly flawed and stupid.
It's so incredibly stupid. Like, but they were like, yeah, they're going to be too busy swooning over each other to have time dashing around, planting roadside bombs. And one of the sources even joked about possible future plans to, quote, make love, not war.
Oh my God.
So,
okay.
I think you were right in if everybody was gay, it would solve a lot of problems. The proposal requested about a $7.5 million budget over the course of 6 years to build and develop it. The main argument for this was that it would be non-lethal, so it would save a lot of lives. It's like, we'll save lives. Be gay, save lives. Put that on a sticker, please.
Be gay, save lives.
Yes. And they kept saying it would cause a breakdown in discipline and morale in enemy units. You're gay and now you're sad. That's not how that works.
This is just so goofy. It's just so goofy because, like, I don't know. It's like, do they not realize that there are probably, like, plenty of gay people in the military already? And they're
Don't
probably
ask,
just,
don't
like,
tell.
they're just, like, not out. And so it's just, like, I'm pretty sure being gay won't disrupt your morale or, like, your ability to be a soldier at fucking all. But okay.
I forgot to look up when Don't Ask, Don't Tell went away. 2011 was when Don't Ask, Don't Tell went away.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't... Why did you go Australia? Jesus Christ. Jesus H. Christ. I can't believe that we've been gay all this time.
That's just crazy. That was not that long ago. Like, we don't want to know that you're gay.
Yeah, if you're gay, just don't be. So, I'm going to get into some of the, like, timelines of this because I was really curious about all of this. I forgot to look up the Don't Ask, Don't Tell thing, but now we know. And that was just from a quick Google search. I don't know how much some of this stuff is, but basically the idea was that these pheromones would be spread through gas, or at one point they proposed biting insects. So,
Okay.
Infect the insects with gay, I guess.
I like the idea that you can be bit by something and it just magically turns you gay.
Yeah, tick-borne illnesses, Lyme's disease, ehrlichiosis, and gay.
Oh, God, that's so funny.
If that was the case, that would explain a lot. I've gotten bit by a lot of ticks.
Oof.
Yeah.
Each time you just get a little gayer.
Yeah, it's... Wear bug spray, don't be gay. Maybe that's how we get... Okay, you know how there's, like, some guys and, like the manosphere guys, they're like, I'm not going to wear sunscreen or wipe my butt 'cause that's gay. Those people are probably the same people that don't want to wear bug spray. So if we tell them that insects can spread gay, then they're going to start wearing bug spray.
I don't want them to wear bug spray. Let them die off naturally.
That's fair. How funny would it be for someone like that to become allergic to red meat? I'm just going to say.
Oh my God. I think about that all the time where I'm like, it's always like the people that
The
only
carnivore
fucking eat red
diets.
meat. Yes.
But anyway, they ended up going with gas for this idea because it would have been the easiest mode of distribution. And also, if people just wore bug spray or had
exactly.
a lot of, I don't know if at the time this was a thing, but I know a lot of newer military uniforms and stuff come with being like imbued with bug repellent. Like if you ever go to a Army surplus and buy newer stuff, a lot of it has like built-in bug repellent. So that wouldn't work. But it never ended up coming to fruition because of lack of funding. So just for a few things timeline-wise, both this project and Viagra won an Ig Nobel Prize in the same year. So people just had dicks on the mind, man.
Love the Ig Nobel Prize. And for those of you that don't know, the Ig Nobel Prize is like, it's something that is funny at first, but then it makes you think. So it's essentially like a Nobel Prize, but for like really unique, kind of strange inventions where it's funny at first, but then it'll make you kind of contemplate after you're done laughing about it.
I want to do a whole episode on the Ig Nobel Prize.
I think we should do like a,
That and the Darwin Award.
yes, like we should make it one of these collaborative episodes where we both choose like certain Ig Nobel Prize things to present. I think that'd be so fun.
It would be, yeah. Add that to our list of episode ideas. Homosexuality was removed from the list of official mental disorders in 1973. Homosexual sex was decriminalized in the United States in 14 different states in 2003.
What the fuck is that? What? That's so late.
Oh, that is crazy. Like, it's so crazy to me that
that's after
witchcraft,
I was born. What the fucking fuck?
Yeah. And I looked it up. It was after Like, it was after I was born, too. I am a little baby youth. Like,
that's insane. That's fucked up.
It's wild to me.
That's insane.
That homosexual sex and witchcraft were still legal within my lifetime. I'm too young for that to be the case.
I think you said legal. You meant illegal.
You know what I mean. Yes, thank you. I did find out that there are still witchcraft laws in place in Pennsylvania. So to all of our Pennsylvania listeners, go commit crimes. Be a witch. But so these 14 states are Alabama, Florida, Idaho, Kansas, Louisiana, Michigan, Mississippi, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and Montana, with Maryland and Minnesota not repealing their anti-homosexual sex laws until 2023.
What?
Which is interesting, given that same-sex marriage was legalized in June of 2015. I almost said 2025. 2015. So you could legally get married.
Insane.
It's wild to me that you could legally get married to someone of the same sex in Maryland and Minnesota, but you couldn't legally have sex with them until
and obviously
3 years ago.
It probably wasn't being enforced in the 2000s.
How do you enforce
but
that?
At the same time, those laws shouldn't be on the fucking books.
No.
They should have never been on the fucking books, because what the fuck is that? But, to not remove them until, fucking 3 years ago? What the fuck?
It's, we talked about this in our Weird Laws episode of, there's a lot of things that's, who's enforcing this, of, who's enforcing you can't, buy cereal on a Sunday in one certain town in Ohio? And, who's enforcing not eating frogs that die in jumping competitions? Who's enforcing this? But also, come on.
Yeah, that's super fucked up. That is super duper fucked up.
But it is wild to me that, homosexual sex was not allowed in 2 states well after same-sex marriage was legalized. What?
Yeah. We need to do better as a country. This is really fucking bad.
Yay, gay bombs! And this just sounds like such a 2000s comedy, buddy stoner comedy type thing. I feel like it needs to, if this were a movie, you would play it between Dude, Where's My Car and Biodome or something. Or White Chicks. You know?
Yeah.
It just sounds like something that someone would come up as a movie idea in that time. I don't know, it's wild. We need to do better. Anyway, this is why I was texting you earlier about, I hate when I find something that I think is going to be funny, and then I'm like, oh, it's just really depressing, and everyone that came up with this or wrote about it being funny was straight white men.
Yeah, it's one of those things, it's okay, it's only funny if it, doesn't affect you.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you have?
Okay, so my first government project is Operation Fantasia. So Operation Fantasia kind of started as the brainchild of Ed Salinger, who was a businessman who had run an import-export business in Tokyo before World War II and had learned much about Japanese culture, practiced the language, and collected Japanese art. This is why, in the wake of the Pearl Harbor bombing, the Office of Strategic Services, or the OSS, hired him to be a psychological warfare strategist against the Japanese. In 1943, Salinger pitched the idea of Operation Fantasia, which he suggested would affect the morale of Japanese soldiers and citizens alike.
Wait, what was this guy's name? Is he the same guy that came up with the bat bombs? I can't remember.
Sorry, I'm trying to look him up. No, all I can find is Operation
Adams.
Fantasia. Yeah,
okay.
Not the same dude.
Yeah, Lytle Adams was the one that did the bat bombs and invented a fried chicken vending machine.
Yeah, and I figured it wasn't the same guy because this is the only project he ever did. Like, they hired him for this specific project, and that was
Gotcha.
pretty much his whole stint because he was really just a fucking businessman. Like, he has no business being in psychological warfare.
The guy that did the bat bombs was a dentist, and at this time they were just like taking letters from people, and the guy that did the bat bombs came up with like 100 other whack ass ideas and just like directly wrote Eisenhower and was like, what if we fucking blew bats up because they're useless? They're not,
just accepting ideas from fucking anybody, which is probably not a great idea, but okay. So in 1943, Salinger pitched the idea of Operation Fantasia, which he suggests. Oh wait, hold on, I already said that. He wrote in the proposal, the modern Japanese is subject to superstitions, beliefs in evil spirits, and unnatural manifestations which can be provoked and stimulated.
I love racism, don't you?
Right? Like, okay, dude. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's very similar to the whole thing with the CIA and the Oswang, which we almost did for this, but it deserves its own episode.
Mm-hmm.
Where the CIA was like, what if we convince people that vampires were real?
So the premise for the operation was based on kitsune, which is a part of traditional Japanese folklore. Basically, it's the word for fox, but kitsune is a type of yokai, which is a creature with godlike powers. This one in particular is often depicted as a fox, like hence why it shares the name kitsune. There are two major variations of it. Holy foxes that serve the Shinto deity Inari, which provides wisdom, good luck, and ward off evil spirits. But more common is the wild fox, one of mischief that is known to shapeshift, trick, or even possess humans. And thinking that creating fake kitsune would send a warning of doom and cause the Japanese to abandon the fight or maybe waver in battle, they began thinking of ways to create such an illusion.
I love these stories. Like, on the one hand, I don't like how fucked up they were with the animals and how they treated them, but it's just so, like, Looney Tunes-esque.
It's an interesting idea, for sure.
Are you going to get into when they tested these on American citizens?
Yes.
I love that bit.
And that wasn't the only idea involved. There's a lot more, trust me. There's a lot to it. So, first, OSS personnel tried fox-shaped balloons to fly over Japanese villages and scare citizens below. They also asked a whistle company to fashion a whistle that would mimic an eerie-sounding fox.
Okay, I want that whistle, though. I, like, legit want that. How cool would it be just to, like, hang out in the woods and blow that?
And then people think you're a cryptid.
Please.
Then they ended up hiring a company to create artificial fox odors, thinking somehow that the Japanese would be able to recognize the scent of a fox, which is fucking goofy.
Just use, like, animal piss, like hunters do.
Well, it's also like, I am not going to tell. I don't care what fucking piss it is. I can't tell what animal that is.
No, piss is piss.
Like, what? Like, you
My nose isn't
can't
good
give
enough.
me an animal odor. No matter, like, you could give me the odor of a dog, and I probably wouldn't be like, oh, that's the odor of a dog. Even though I live with a dog. Like, nobody's out here identifying animals by fucking smell. Unless that is what you do, like, unless you're a hunter or you, like, do it for a living, you really think if a fox showed up on your property, you'd be like, yeah, that's a fox. I identified that by fucking smell.
Okay, I will say there are some animals that I know what they smell like. Like, I know what dogs smell like because I live with them. I know what, like, chickens have a very distinctive smell to them.
That's true.
Not just the chicken shit, but, like, the smell of the chickens. I know some people know it, like, they can smell like a buck because they have that musk to them. And copperheads have a smell. If it smells like cucumbers outside and you're not growing cucumbers, there's probably a copperhead around. But, like, I couldn't tell you what a fox smells like.
I don't think the average fucking, like, citizen would
No.
be able to tell what a fucking fox smelled like. So, like, the fact that they have to artificially, like, create a fox odor, that's fucking goofy.
Just,
obviously, the whole thing is goofy, but that's extra fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So each of these ideas were abandoned before being deployed because they were seen as impractical. Obviously.
No shit.
Instead, they decided to capture live foxes in China and Australia and spray paint them with a glowing paint and release them into Japanese villages. Of course, the glowing paint contained radium, which is highly radioactive and detrimental to the health of living organisms. And of course, they knew this by 1943 as women who worked in radium factories started exhibiting symptoms of radium sickness as early as 1917. So they're just fucking, like, killing everything involved. Like, the foxes are gonna get, like, fucking radiant sickness and die after being painted. So that's great.
Yeah, I hate that. It's... Also, in the event that somebody decides to, like, shoot at these things, I've never shot at a ghost, but I'm assuming a bullet would just go straight fucking through it. And I'm pretty sure if you shoot at a painted fox, it's going to fucking die.
Yeah.
Just a guess? Just a wild guess.
So then the question was, will these foxes actually scare the Japanese? So to test this, they decided to release 30 glowing foxes into Washington, D.C.'s Rock Creek Park to gauge reactions.
This is giving, like, how do women feel about this? We asked men energy.
Yes. Here's the thing. I think the Americans probably reacted way fucking worse than the Japanese would have because, like, they're so fucking dramatic, dude. They're so fucking dramatic.
Americans we're such a dramatic people.
Like, here's what happened. So, they thought surely if it scared the Americans, it would scare the Japanese. So in 1945,
smart, non-superstitious Americans won't be fooled by some painted foxes.
And they thought if they scared the Americans, then surely it would scare the Japanese. So in 1945, these foxes were released into the park, leading many spooked and concerned passersby who notified National Park Police and said they were absolutely horrified and shocked by the ghostly foxes. Like, people were fucking freaking out.
I mean, in all fairness, if I saw a glowing fox in my woods, I would be like, yep, okay, this is a death omen. I'm not gonna call the police because the police won't know what to do. Time to just, like, pretend like that didn't happen.
Like, and I'm not saying that the reaction isn't fair because that would also probably, like, really freak me out, but I dare say that the Americans probably reacted fucking worse than the Japanese would have.
Yeah.
So, determining that the foxes were good enough to deliver a fright, then they had to figure out if the foxes could swim from the ocean to the shores of Japan, because that's how they planned on kind of dropping them off. So this ended with
stay on?
That's what we're about to discuss. This ended with a bunch of unfortunate foxes fashioned with glowing paint being dumped into the middle of the Chesapeake Bay to see if they could swim ashore. Most of the paint washed off the ones that reached land.
This is giving, like, just dropping the bats from the bat bombs. Like, dropping them to their death. Or, like, what was it with Acoustic Kitty? They, like, removed the ability of it to, like, feel hunger by snipping certain, like, parts of its brain, and then it just got hit by a fucking bus.
Yeah, that one is so fucked up.
Like, this, can we just stop? Unfortunately, my next one also involves animals, but
R.I.P. So they determined, because the paint didn't stay on him, they determined that if the plane was going to work, the foxes would have to be dropped off on land. But then Salinger began to worry that the foxes would need to be trained, which he decided might not be possible. So he made a taxidermy fox with a human skull attached to the head, equipped it with a mechanical device for raising and lowering the jaw.
Where did he get a human skull?
We don't know. But he equipped it with a mechanical device for raising and lowering the jaw to make it look like it was speaking, then painted it to have glowing bones. And just in case the live fox plan failed and the taxidermy project failed, he had a third plan to send out people to pretend to be possessed by the spirit of the fox. These people would essentially just run around and yell about foxes and pretend to be deranged. So there were like 4 different fucking plans in place. He was like, all right, fox-shaped balloons. No, that's not going to work. Live
And if none of that
painted
works,
foxes.
we'll make them all gay.
And then taxidermy fox that we've attached a human fucking skull to it. And then he's like, okay, but if that doesn't work, we're just going to send people out to pretend that they're like being fucking possessed by a fox. All bad ideas.
Yeah.
And
this man just needed hobbies, dude. Like, just paint some miniatures. Put together like a model airplane. Get high on glue. Be a real man in 1947 or whatever.
And unfortunately for Salinger, not one of his plans was ever put into place because people realized how fucking ridiculous it was. Even Stanley Lovell, the head of the OSS Research Development Branch that oversaw the project, recommended it be abandoned almost immediately. And Stanley was a man who proposed they try and make Adolf Hitler's mustache fall off by putting female sex hormones in his vegetables. So that's how you know how ridiculous he thought this operation was.
Do you like the concept of like, how do we defeat Germany? We'll make Hitler's mustache fall off. Like, that's how I'm gonna defeat my enemies, is just shave them in the night.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna put female sex hormones in Hitler's vegetables.
If I don't like you and you have facial hair, watch out! I'm coming for that stash.
So, of course, obviously, we look back on this project now and we say, yikes. Vince Houghton, who is curator and historian at the International Spy Museum, writes in his novel, Nuking the Moon, that Operation Fantasia demonstrates the breadth of the racism, ethnocentrism, and general disregard for Japanese culture held by many, if not most, of the top American military, intelligence, and political leadership. I dare say he is correct, because what the fuck was that?
This was also the same time when we were putting American citizens of Japanese descent in internment camps, but not calling them internment camps, just because, and also just putting anyone who was vaguely Asian in internment
and then
camps.
like literally taking every fucking thing that they had, and then we would like release them, and they wouldn't have anything. We never fucking gave them any of their shit back. They had nothing. They were like, all right, guess it's time to fucking start my life over after I was just like basically held in this fucking prison.
But they were internment camps.
Ugh. So anyway, that was bad and horrible. What is your next project?
My next one is a typo, apparently. The Marine Mammals Project, which I accidentally wrote the Marine Mamas Project.
Marine Mamas. I love that. I love a Marine Mama.
That's just what you call, like, hot ladies in the Marines, Marine Mamas.
Marine Mamas, I like that.
Yes, if you are a Marine Mama, write to us at whataboutweirdpod@gmail.com. No, the Marine Mammals Project. So, in the 70s, the U.S. government believed that the Soviets were successfully able to train marine mammals for warfare and espionage purposes. So, the CIA and the United States Navy were like, well, what if we did that? So the plan was to start replacing trained divers with dolphins, orcas, which are a form of dolphin, and beluga whales, which are in a weird gray area between whales and dolphins, but sort of anything in the dolphin adjacent category. And they were planning on, they're like, okay, well, it's going to be less suspicious for a marine mammal to swim up to a boat than a person. And they are faster than people in the water. I read so many statistics in this one declassified CIA document of like the speed of dolphins compared to people in the water. Anyway, that's an hour of my life I'll never get back. Basically, they're like, we'll use them for scouting and getting into enemy waters, hopefully moving up to training these animals on placing bombs and fouling up motors on enemy ships. The intention was to primarily use bottlenose dolphins. The CIA, and this is basically me quoting what I read, but just like condensing it. The CIA suggested that marine mammals were so smart, fast, and adept in the water that they would be able to complete tasks beyond the capabilities of the military. So even the CIA was like, dolphins are smarter than the people we're putting in the military.
My God. I don't think that's something you want to admit.
No. But so they're like, yeah, we'll be able to replace these military frogmen. And the first time I saw that phrase, I was like, better than frogmen? Because they didn't have military frogmen. It was just frogmen. And I'm like, cryptids are coming into this? No,
that was like a military term. I've never heard of that
term. So what? I had to look it up because they just kept saying frogmen. We're going to replace frogman. We're going to replace these like a dolphin is better than a frogman. And I'm like, what do you have against the frogman? So a military frogman, from what I could understand, is formerly known as combat divers or combat swimmers, are highly specialized military personnel trained in scuba diving, underwater demolition, and clandestine insertions. I think that's what that word is. I don't fucking know. I can't read. But it started a lot during World War II, and they were expected to do high-risk missions, like beach reconnaissance, sabotage, underwater tactical movements. Basically think like Navy SEALs.
Okay.
So it was also a hope that the dolphins could possibly work with the frogmen on missions, which I just want this as a movie, but it's not. Military frogman, it's the Loveland frogman.
It's the Loveland
doing
frogman.
Espionage missions with a dolphin.
The dolphins. That's pretty good.
It's Flipper and the Loveland Frogman versus the Atomic Invaders.
That would make a great, like, superhero style movie.
Please. So they thought that the combination of the dolphin's swimming abilities with the soldiers' opposable thumbs would be, and their combine of both their brain powers would basically make them unstoppable. This project was never actually officially stopped, but it was dramatically downsized and forced to slow way down in the 80s due to an increase in animal rights legislations and I can't speak. It was dramatically downsized and forced to slow down in the 1980s due to an increase in animal rights legislation and post-Cold War budget cuts. Also, for anyone curious, SeaWorld opened in 1964, so by the time they came up with this, they already saw that you could train dolphins. To some extent, so.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're like, we saw SeaWorld doing it. Let's put the dolphins in the military.
Yeah. They were also
Good
like,
Lord, people.
We were told that the Soviets are doing this, and also, I took my family to SeaWorld. What if we gave these things bombs instead of beach balls?
I saw Shamu. I know what he can do. God.
Free Willy would be a lot different if he had a bomb.
Well, thankfully, my last one does not have animals involved, which I really appreciate because
we shit between homophobia and what yours is. Homophobia, horrible things with animals, horrible things with animals. What's next? How will I cry now?
The least problematic government project possible, like in terms of all the ones we've discussed, which thank fucking God, because we need a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
So, this is the Insecticopter, which is, so the Insecticopter was an incredibly tiny unmanned aerial vehicle, or a UAV, that was developed in the 1970s by the CIA. It was the size...
it's not the birds that are fake, it's the insects.
Specifically the dragonflies.
I've seen those fuckers. I would believe that they're fake.
Literally. So
I love them, but they're we have some big-ass dragonflies around here.
So this thing was literally the size of a dragonfly and was hand painted to look exactly like one. Since
I want that
dragonflies,
job. Just painting the insecticopter.
well, there's only one.
Oh.
Yeah, there's only ever one. So since dragonflies are native to every continent on Earth except for Antarctica, it would make the perfect device to spy on enemies of the US. Dragonflies also move in ways that kind of seem robotic, often darting up and down, backwards, hovering midair, which would kind of make the movements of the insecticopter not stand out as a spying device.
I like to imagine that somebody, like, catches it to pin it, thinking it's a regular dragonfly, and they're like, hang on. There's some,
They, like, try and swat it with a fly swatter, and it just clangs.
Yes. Clunk. The fuck?
So it was powered by a miniature oscillator that ran on a small amount of propellant-produced gas. Thanks to the oscillator, the wings would move up and down at a rate fast enough to propel the dragonfly vehicle and allow it to fly in a manner that looked exactly like a normal dragonfly, which is fucking crazy.
I want to see videos of this.
Right? It also gained extra thrust from excess gas that vented out the rear of the vehicle.
It farts! It propels itself with farts! I love this!
So
farting in spy insect.
Under the right conditions, the insecticopter was able to fly about 200 meters with a flight time of 60 seconds. Though there was no camera on the insecticopter to spy, it did have a laser beam that not only directed its flight, but also acted as a data link for a miniature acoustic sensor on board so that they can conduct audio surveillance. And while all of this seems pretty neat, and if you look up photos, it does look exactly like a dragonfly.
It is really cool, yeah. I'm assuming they did this after Acoustic Kitty got run over. Because I think that was in the 60s. Okay, time to Google. Live Googling. I feel like Acoustic Kitty was in the 60s? Yeah, Acoustic Kitty was the 60s.
Yeah.
So the cat got run over and they're like, we gotta do something else.
Yeah, hopefully not involving a fucking animal.
Yeah, a fake animal.
So the problem with the insecticopter was that it only weighed 1 gram, and the slightest wind made it really difficult to maneuver. So thanks to it being so hard to control with the slightest of winds blowing, it never got to go out on a spy mission. But it is proudly displayed in the CIA museum. But of course, the CIA museum is at CIA headquarters and is not open to the public. Only authorized government personnel or officials have permission to enter, which I think is pretty fucking stupid to have a museum that people can't go visit.
I know. I love a weird museum. I just love museums in general. If you want to make me happy, just take me to a museum. Open it up to the public, please.
Yeah.
I want to see.
Maybe don't have the CIA museum at fucking CIA headquarters so that people can go visit. Like, they're like, we're gonna display all the fucking CIA secrets and, like, at this museum so it can't be open to the public because then the public will know all of our secrets.
Then just display the ones that aren't in use or the ones that people now know about.
Yeah, it's a little goofy.
And put it in the International Spy Museum.
But they have posted pictures so you can see it, but you can't go see it in person. The really cool thing, though, is that the insecticopter was actually an inspiration for technology decades after it was created. Starting in 2005, when students at Delft University of Technology in the Netherlands...
University?
Delft, D-E-L-F-T, University of Technology in the Netherlands, created the Delfly, which was a roughly 3-gram micro-aerial vehicle with a 10-centimeter long wingspan equipped with a video camera and transmitter to send live video.
I was going to ask if someone tried to make something like this, because I was listening to this, I'm like, I know some people that are really good with like electronics and shit. I bet they could build something like this.
So in 2008, the Delphi actually set a Guinness World Record for the world's smallest camera plane, which is pretty cool. So like decades after, people are still have like, I mean, at this point, like they've achieved like a good insectocopter that weighs just enough to where maybe you could maneuver it around in some slight winds, but now it has the capability to like record video and audio and
battery,
all that crazy shit. So
with battery technology getting better, it could like go further and last longer.
I'm just saying, next time you see a dragonfly, be a little suspicious because, hey, I was coming out of work the other day and there was this dragonfly that was like following me around. I like went to my car. It followed me to my fucking car. Then I went back in the building and it followed me from my fucking car to the building. I swear to God, it was like trying to fucking spy on me or something. And this was before I did this research. I was like, what the fuck is this dragonfly's problem?
I was outside the other day and a dragonfly just ran into my head and flew off. So maybe the operator of that one was drunk. It's like bonk and flew off. I'm like, what the fuck?
So yeah, birds, I wouldn't be concerned about the birds. The dragonflies, be concerned about those motherfuckers. It could be a spy camera. You never know.
Turns out that they don't actually eat mosquitoes like we were always told. They just told us that they eat mosquitoes so we wouldn't go after them.
They're government surveillance only. I'm glad we ended on this one because the first three were
depressing.
They're like funny, but they're highly fucking upsetting. One, for human rights violations issues. Two, because of like animal cruelty. So really glad we ended on the insectocopter, which is I mean, listen, we already live in a surveillance state with all the flock cameras, so I'm really not fucking worried about the electronic dragonflies.
Yeah, the dragonflies can zoom by and see me hanging out on the deck in my bathrobe.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like I'm already being spied on in every way, shape, and form. Like it's fucking whatever. At least the insectocopters are a lot more visually appealing than flock cameras.
That's true.
Oh no, we were gonna banter afterwards, but no time to banter.
Yeah, we don't have time to banter. We gotta go.
Don't forget to ask about the weird. Bye.
Do you want to do the outro since I did the intro?
Sure. Thank you for listening. If you liked it, please rate the podcast and share it with the weird people in your life. Follow us on Instagram at whataboutweird.pod, where we often share pictures related to the episodes. We're also on Blue Sky as What About Weird Pod whenever I remember to post stuff. If you have any topic suggestions or personal weird stories, please DM us or email us at whataboutweirdpod@gmail.com. And always remember
to ask about the weird.
Bye for now.
Bye.